mean, obviously with social media marketing and advertising and things like that now, there's so much, it cuts out so much of the guesswork. True, and I think that that's so powerful when it comes to not just launching a product, but developing it in the first place.
The way that we approach it is we're trying to essentially challenge some assumptions or test some hypotheses. That's a better way of putting it, that we have about the product. So the very first thing that we're doing is that and at the end of the day, all we're really doing is positioning this product correctly in the market. So we're trying to come up with, we call them angles. Like, what are some different things, different ways that we can position this product in the market and test to see how the market actually responds to that. So there's kind of multiple parts of that too, where you have, angle. Let's give an example of like William Painter sunglasses here in San Diego. They've done 7 product launches themselves. They're good friends of ours, and we've done about 4 of them with them. Because they didn't find out of us until later. But anyway, so we did those product launches. And so for some of their sunglasses, let's say like an angle that you could take is, people always like break their sunglasses, right? Well, the angle with William Painter that we may want to test to see like which one's most popular is like, these sunglasses are indestructible. Maybe another one is, these sunglasses have like a lifetime guarantee. Maybe another one is around losing the sunglasses. Like, they'll actually replace your sunglasses for 50% off, So you start to actually think of like, what are these different angles that we can test to see which ones resonate the most with the audience. And what you're trying to get to is what we call the tip of the spear. So it's like, if you're going to be leading out there in the jungle with your new product, like, what's the first thing that we would want to lead with when we're talking about this product? So maybe for William Painter, it's the fact that they're made from aerospace grade aluminum. So these things are freaking indestructible, and it's pretty much what it is a lot of times for those guys. So figuring out and testing these angles is a huge part of this. And then the other part of this is the target market. Like, so you can have the best tip of the spear possible for these sunglasses and say it's indestructible, but if you're targeting the wrong people, then it's not going to matter at all. So we also come up with who are different types of people or personas that we think would resonate, the most with this, whether that be world travelers or entrepreneurs, and sure, there may be some overlap between these audiences, but it's good to start to think about, what are these people's interests and things like that. And that's where that matches up really well to Facebook and Instagram advertising, because what you're doing on there essentially is creating audiences based off of people's interests, based off of their demographics, and then you can target them.
I love that approach of testing it beforehand, because you're still letting the market inform how you ultimately set up and position this product.
Exactly. Every single element of the funnel like that we're putting out there is going to tell you some information about how the market responds to your positioning. I think the general thing, like when I try to simplify it for people, is that view your funnel at each stage. It's like the ad, then the landing page. In our case, then we give them the reservation page, and really understand the metrics at each one of these stages, and see what are these metrics actually telling you, and what are some things that you can test. Imagery copy to, again, imagery copy on the landing page to maybe price point on the reservation page. And you can start to actually collect some data before you go out there and launch your product. Because once you do that and you put it out there, you can change some things. You should always be testing, but it's going to be much more difficult, and might as well do it way earlier on than later.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I guess, what I'm taking away from this too, is just kind of really the key is doing it early. And I think a lot of the smartest entrepreneurs and companies understand that launching a product, the marketing starts way before the product actually launches, right?
Exactly.
And that's sort of, I think, the overall theme here of what we're talking about is getting that marketing going so much earlier in the game, so you have a successful product launch, so you have that alignment when you launch.
Exactly. And I think the other thing I want to point out here is that I feel like people or big companies or people think big companies do things like focus groups and well, it's probably like one of the big ones that people always talk about, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with focus groups, but we're much more into the concept of let's actually spend some money and see if people are willing to pull out their credit card and put some money down. Even though we're putting down or having them put down deposits for these products instead of paying for the entire thing, there still is something much more, I guess, like real about the person's interest level when they pull out their credit card online versus, especially if you think about they just saw the product probably 30 seconds ago and they're doing this. There's something much more real about that than, just talking to someone in a group and asking them like, what would they pay for this product or what would they pay? So it's having them put their money where their mouth is essentially, and letting the data speak for itself. I think is something that is really powerful about the process that we've created. And I mean, I always encourage every single entrepreneur, whether they're working with us or doing it themselves, to have some type of way of having people put some money down.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out this clip. If you want to catch the full episode, be sure to click the link above or below this video. And to catch more interviews like this one with marketing industry leaders and executives, make sure you check out Campaign Brief wherever you get your podcasts. Just go to campaignbriefshow.com.